Well, howdy, ChemComm students. We're going to start Unit 3 here with dimensional analysis. And this is kind of an extension of what we've covered before, but it's going to be a little bit more in depth, and we're going to use metric conversions along with regular conversions. To convert from one unit to another, we will use a problem-solving method called dimensional analysis. This method uses equalities or conversion factors to change one unit into another. For instance, 32 quarters, we're asking how many dollars we have. We're going to say that there's $8. Some of us can do this in our heads, but we know this because there are 4 quarters in every dollar. That's called a conversion factor. So if I'm asking how many inches there are in 4 feet, well, a lot of you would say 48 inches right off the bat. But how did you know that? What did you have to know to figure that out? You had to know that there are 1 foot and there are 12 inches in every foot. Because we know the equality of 1 foot to 12 inches, we call this a conversion factor. It's written as a fraction where the numerator, which is on top, and the denominator, which is on bottom, are equal to each other, but they have different units. For example, we can use the following conversion factors to change between inches and feet. We might have 12 inches over 1 foot, see how it's divided there, or we can have 1 foot over 12 inches. And what you notice is that they are just flip-flop of each other. So if we're looking at this ruler here, you'll notice that we have inches on the bottom and we have centimeters on the top. What we learned last unit is that for every centimeter, we have 10 millimeters, the little lines right here. So there are 10 millimeters in every centimeter. Now, if I go up to 10 centimeters, I know that a decimeter has 10 centimeters in it. And if I were to go up to 100 centimeters, well, that would be 1 meter. But what we're going to learn is that if we look, 1 inch is actually equivalent to about 2.54 centimeters. So we're going to look at other conversion factors here. Some handy conversion, the meter stick that I just talked about, we can get conversions from that. We can say 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeters. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, and 1 meter is equal to 100 millimeters. So we're going to bring back those metric conversions we learned last unit. We're going to use those prefixes to figure out how we can modify units for liters. So a liter should contain 10 deciliters. A liter should contain 100 centiliters, and a liter should contain 1,000 milliliters. This is from Unit 2. So we're going to learn something called the T-table method, or the train tracks. And we're going to actually take these metric conversions and learn how to plug them into a T-table. And then from there, once we learn the T-table, we can actually learn how to calculate other things like multiple units and conversion rates. So if I'm looking at this problem, how many donuts are in 3.5 dozen? Well, I'm going to start with 3.5 dozen on the top. And on the bottom, I'm going to have 1.0 dozen, and I'm going to go up to 12 dozen, because 1 dozen donuts is 12. When I multiply these across, on top, I do 3.5 times 12, and then on bottom, I only have 1. So I'm going to take whatever's on top, and I'm going to divide it by whatever's on bottom, and here I get 42 donuts. How many days are in 32 years? Well, I'm going to start with 32 years on top of my T-table. I know that there are 365 days in every 1 year. My units cancel top and bottom. That's how I match things up. There's nothing under here because I only have 1 unit that I'm converting. When we get to 2 units, there will be something under here. So years cancels, I'm left with days. I calculate, I'm going to multiply 32 by 365, and there's only 1 thing on the bottom. So whatever's on top, which is 11,680 days, divided by 1, which is still 11,680 days. How many dimes are in $5.6? Well, I'm going to start with $5.6. I know that dollars has to go on the bottom, and I'm looking for dimes. So I know that there are 10 dimes in every $1. And again, I'm going to do 5.6 times 10. I'm going to get 56. Divided by 1 is still 56 dimes. And we're going to go ahead and stop there for this video.